I make sure that I record everything for a reason. I show you how these police and these predators, like that racer from Hood River, how they work together to harm innocent people. Fact is, Hood River police did the same thing as the police here in Tillamook, about the same man. I was able to record witnesses in every one of these situations that show that I was the victim. There's also recordings in every single one of these situations that show that the police made every excuse to talk over me, tell me to go somewhere else. All of them, instead of doing their goddamn jobs, wanted to send me to mental health. You look at the recordings, you realize that I'm trying to tell them what's going on, and they're fucking lying to me the whole time, trying to reword everything, trying to twist and manipulate the situation so they don't have to do their job because they don't want to do paperwork. Nobody gives a fuck about us. Everybody knows it, including the fucking cops, you fucking cowards. I'm in here charging up my phone because, well, I live in a fucking car. I'm victimized everywhere I go. Y'all are pissed off because I show what horrible, lying, manipulative, nasty people you are. Turnabout is fair play, right? You say, oh, two wrongs don't make a right. You know what? They do. When the first wrong is treated as if it's right, is it right for me to do it? Or only for people to do it to me? Is it okay for the police to blow off Johnny Depp? Or only okay for them to do that to me? Is it okay for them to deprive everyone of the right to use the interview room to make a report safely instead of being forced to have to do it out in public where my disabilities prevent me from doing it out in public? And yeah, that includes the library, folks. If I see one on back, I have an instant fucking panic attack from that. The cops have been breaking the law since I got here. The harassment phone calls that I get, the repeated calls from restricted numbers, the situations that forced me to go public and to have to record these things publicly because all of these places, TFCC, TCCHC, all of the places the cops have sent me to, and when they say which one, hold on a second, which time? Where did they send me which time? No matter what, they'll just fucking pull it out of their ass. Oh, this place, this place, this place. I go to those places, they say, no, it's... I gotta turn in the fucking DA's office, for Christ's sake. Susan's a witness to that, too. We've also got Susan recorded talking about that. We've also got part of that situation recorded. The DA lied out her fucking ass at us. She intentionally treated me like less of a human being. Susan was there for that, and I was there for that. It's not that I'm not trying to go to the places I'm supposed to. It's the corruption runs deep. And the mentally ill are the biggest cash cow in the country. That's why you try to give everybody who's homeless gets stuck with the mentally ill tag no matter what. You must be mentally ill. And some of them, they'll talk about how They don't have to go through that. Well, good for you, you lucky fucker. Good for you. The problem is that my stalkers, through all of this, have preyed on the fact that nobody will listen to somebody once they call them mentally ill. That is slander. It is not a diagnosis. It is an insult, and it is meant to discredit the goddamn victim. It's meant to make the victim look like the bad guy. Like Chris Stafford running around town telling people that Amanda put a gun to his head and that she's got chlamydia. That's the thing, is that he's mentally a little boy and he's sick in the head. How do you like it when I say it about you? It doesn't feel so good. The difference is with you, it's true. With you, you did think you were in love with her. Chris Stafford, that situation with Amanda was completely uncalled for. You have no idea how many times I wanted to call the cops on your ass for being a fucking creeper. But also, I told myself, hey, same thing as if she was a boy. She chooses to be there. Now that was when it came to hanging out with you instead of hanging out with her boyfriend. That does not apply to rape. That doesn't apply to trying to systematically disassemble somebody's life with lies because they told you no. Chris Stafford is a Natalie Bollinger. Natalie Bollinger didn't have to go spreading all those rumors. She only had to spread one. Who started this whole Chimo rumor? Maddie Boa. But Maddie Boa didn't accuse me of molesting her. No, she accused me of molesting, quote unquote, 2 girls in Virginia. The evidence shows otherwise, but who's gonna fucking listen to me? Who's gonna look at the evidence? I can bring it in person to show them, because with my disabilities, that is the only way to do it. And they refuse to look at it in person. All of these places, because they don't want to have to do their jobs. If they refuse to look at the evidence and then they say, oh, well, I wasn't there. You don't have to be there. I have the evidence of it. You fucking pieces of shit. I also recorded the fact that I went to you for help. Mandated reporters who didn't want to do their jobs. I did as I was instructed, folks. You get to hear on my channel loud and clear, if you follow these videos in sequence, that I am following instructions and that I am being threatened with death, with bodily harm, with imprisonment, with jail. You goddamn right, I speak out and I curse. And how much abuse you expect me to take before I get angry and fucking defensive? You shits get defensive right away, but that's because you don't want to get in trouble. I've been in jail and prison for protecting kids, so you can kiss my ass on that. I've been to jail and prison for trying to turn in corrupt cops and child molesters, like Sheriff Scott DaCosta and Robert Franklin Warnick, Leslie Snell, and William Barr. We've also got a lot of other quote-unquote professionals like Polly Olson. They're recorded on this channel. My attempts to turn those people in have resulted in me spending tens of thousands of dollars to pay people to help me, who just end up getting fucked up on drugs, talking over me and treat me like shit, playing it off like it's no big thing, like everybody has to go through this. When the victim is speaking, it's not your turn to speak, and every interruption increases the chances of that person not being able to communicate at all. I'm autistic. When I am bullied to that point, that's when I am harmed the most. That's when people get the meanest about bullying. Someone needs to be there to stop people from bullying me when I turn in police reports. Because I'll get bullied by the police, you pieces of shit. I'll get talked over by the police, you pieces of shit. The United States is the most disgusting country to live in my opinion. Because I live here, I see how much control the United States has against its people. How easy it is for corrupt police to abuse the whole system and harm all of us. You get to see that officers are arrested all the time for these things, that it's illegal all the time. You get to see body cameras of these things all the time. Now, why didn't anybody help me get the body cameras? Why was I forced to do these things myself while being abused? Having to go to the departments that harm me to try to get those things, and I'm told it'll take an act of God. Public pretenders didn't want to do their jobs and they committed felonies so they didn't have to. Let's post up some of the stuff that I've had to endure just today.